This week on Beacon Web News, Robert Wehry lets us know all the happenings in North Adams for Veterans Day weekend. Jabari Shakir caught all the action at the women's soccer senior night, and reporter Julia Texera gives us the results of the election. That's all coming up next on Beacon Web News. Hello and welcome to the November 6th episode of Beacon Web News. I'm Sim Kerr. MCLA's Shakespeare group Yorick will be presenting several scenes from the iconic playwright on November 8th and 9th at 7 p.m. It will take place at the Church Street Center Social Hall. It will be a dinner and show event as the guests can enjoy food while watching the Bard's works. Attention video game fans, the MCLA Gaming Alliance is hosting a Super Smash Bros. Tournament on Thursday, November 7th. Come see your fellow students play the popular video game Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for all gaming glory. The tourney will be held on Thursday, November 7th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. in Bowman 324. BWN's Robert Wehry gives us the scoop on all the entertainment coming this Veterans Day weekend in this week's edition of Wehry Weekly Entertainment.
Thanks, Sim. Welcome to this week's episode of Wehry Weekly Entertainment News. This weekend marks Veterans Day, and there are a couple of events in North Adams that help celebrate our servicemen and women locally and nationally. First will be the 8th annual DeMar 5K Run and 1 Mile Walk. This honors Michael DeMarsico, a North Adams native who was killed in Afghanistan in 2012. This event raises money for the scholarship in his name and is a great tribute to a man who sacrificed his life to protect our country. After the race will be the Veterans Day Parade. There will be many different military posts, high school bands, and more marching in this parade. Both events are great honors to the men and women serving in the armed forces. The DeMar 5K Run will take place on Sunday, November 10th. It is scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. The race starts at the Veterans Memorial and ends at the North Adams American Legion. This will be followed by the parade. It will start whenever the race ends and will follow the same path. Both events will be free to the public. Also happening this weekend will be the performance of Liberian Girl in Brooklyn, playing at Mass Mocha. This one-woman show is performed by Marcelle Davis Lashley, a singer/actress who tells the story of her West African heritage through original music, dance, and storytelling. It's a deep and moving piece of work. Liberian Girl in Brooklyn will be taking place on Saturday, November 9th at 8 p.m. in Club B10. Student tickets for the show cost $15. To purchase your tickets, visit massmocha.org. Finally, there are two movies debuting this weekend at the Movieplex. The first is Dr. Sleep. This movie follows the events of the 1980 adaptation of the Stephen King classic novel, The Shining. Halloween may be over, but Stephen King movies are always in season. Dr. Sleep stars Ewan McGregor, Kylie Curran, and Rebecca Ferguson, and is directed by Mike Flanagan. The other major debut is Last Christmas. This romantic comedy is set in London and is getting tremendous buzz for its throwback combination of sweet romance and funny dialogue. Last Christmas stars Emilia Clarke, Henry Golding, and Emma Thompson, and is directed by Paul Feig. Dr. Sleep's first showing will be on Thursday, November 7th at 6:30 p.m., while Last Christmas opens on Friday, November 8th at 1:10 p.m. Visit the Movieplex website for all future times. Dr. Sleep is rated R for disturbing content and bloody imagery, while Last Christmas is rated PG-13 for brief language. That ends this week's episode of Wehry Weekly Entertainment News. I'll be back every week to discuss the many concerts, art exhibits, movies, and more going on in North Adams and surrounding towns. Back over to you, Sim.
And now from the Beacon. A new director is taking on MCLA's Public Arts Project. Erica Wall, the new director of the Berkshire Cultural Resource Center, will be overseeing Gallery 51, the performing arts program entitled MCLA Presents, and Downtown Street Art. Pang performance goes off with a bang. The Berkshire Cultural Resource Center and MCLA hosted Dan Fruit and Company, who performed Pang, an audio drama about food insecurity in the United States. The goal of this project is to destigmatize food insecurities for young adults. Northern Berkshire artists are to come together at High Low in North Adams. Assets for Artists will be hosting a Northern Berkshire Artist Meetup on Tuesday, November 12th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at High Low in North Adams. This is done in collaboration with the Berkshire Cultural Resource Center and Common Folk. DEI Student Advisory Board fights for diversity and inclusion. Chief Diversity Officer Christopher McDonald Dennis created the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Student Advisory Board. This is to connect, represent, and empower students and create a positive environment on campus. You can check out these and other stories from the Beacon at theonlinebeacon.com or pick up a copy all over campus. MCLA women's basketball team will be hosting their first home game of the 2019-2020 season against SUNY Cobble-Skill. The game will be in the Campus Center at Amsler Gym on Wednesday, November 13th at 6 p.m. MCLA men's basketball team will be hosting their first home game of the 2019-2020 season against Becker College. The game will be in the Campus Center at Amsler Gym on Saturday, November 23rd at 12 p.m. Women's soccer faced off against Framingham State for their senior game, and Jabari Shakir was there to catch all the action.
The MCLA women's soccer team defeated Framingham State in a double overtime shutout, with Sitir Moore scoring the game-winning goal. The final score was 1-0. MCLA ends their season at 3-14-1 overall and 1-6 in the MASCAC. The Rams finished at 2-13-1 overall and 2-5 in the MASCAC. Through regulation, the teams were scoreless as the Rams held a slim 22-20 edge in shots. Neither team generated much offense in the first overtime, but Moore finally got the game winner in the second overtime. Moore would convert a turnover deep in the Framingham end goal that pulled out Ram keeper Madison Brown. Moore saw the goal left unguarded and drilled the game winner for the Trailblazers at the 105th minute mark. MCLA's Megan Richardson earned a shutout victory after stopping 15 shots for the win. Richardson finishes up her career with 596 career saves. Gonzalez describes her best memories playing for MCLA and what she has learned the most, making her who she is now.
Best memory is easily this game right here. My whole entire team has played with heart and soul, and I could never forget this day, moment. Easily the best senior day I've ever seen and or played in. So. Honestly, my coaching staff has changed the way I play soccer and changed the way I look at soccer. So I've learned so much about everything, including how to play and how to coach. So I'm hoping to one day go on and be a coach just like the coaches I played under.
Richardson describes her best memories playing for MCLA and what she has learned the most, making her who she is now.
My favorite memory at MCLA is probably the Bridgewater game from 2018. We just played our hearts out in that game, and it really showed on the field. And then today is another great memory, going out in a win. And my final game is really nice.
Also, Richardson becomes teary-eyed in remembrance of her hard work and dedication as a trailblazer.
What I've learned at MCLA that's turned me the person I am today is probably the value of hard work and dedication. Coming out in the field every day and just working hard for the team has really shaped me into the person I am today.
Coach Deb Raber is proud of how her team finished and kept pushing for the victory.
Just how we persevered. I mean, after 105 minutes of soccer, to be able to dig deep and get a goal like that, and I'm super proud of them. And, you know, going out on a high note like that is always a wonderful thing, especially on senior day. Sending your 5 seniors out on a high note like that is always lovely. Persevering. Playing 4 years of a college sport is hard. And, you know, the time, the dedication, you know, I am a demanding coach, and for them to really see it through 4 years and playing hard as they do, I'm so super proud of every single one of them and everything they've accomplished. And you know, some of them have the stats to back an amazing career, and some of them just know deep down inside that they did everything they could for our program for 4 years.
Coach Raber is proud of her seniors' achievements and the young woman they have become.
That's a hard one because all of them, you know, Taylor was only with us for a year, but having her here for just a semester was fun. She's a great, fun-loving person and, you know, fit right into the team and did a lovely job for us. I mean, Tess, if all of them, it's hard to say because the 4 of them who've gone through 4 years of our program to reflect back as to what they were like their freshman year to what they are now is, you can't even believe it. I mean, all of them were so unsure of themselves, and then to see them graduate is like super confident young woman ready to take on the world, whether it be grad school or job, whatever it be. I mean, it's a wonderful thing to see, and that's probably one of the biggest highlights for any coach.
I'm Jabari Shakir, and this is the Beacon Web News.
Need a ride home for Thanksgiving? RPS is providing a Thanksgiving bus trip to Boston. The bus will depart MCLA on Tuesday, November 26th at 5 p.m. and will travel to Alewife T Station in Cambridge. The bus back to MCLA will depart the Alewife T Station on Sunday, December 1st. Tickets are $70 round trip. For more information, stop by RPS Townhouse 89. The North Adams History Museum opened the doors at its new location on Saturday, November 2nd. The museum began looking for a new space when there was talk of the city selling the original location of the museum, Western Gateway Heritage State Park. The museum moved to the first floor of the Holiday Inn. It's that time of year again, and reporter Julia Texera has the results of this year's City Council, Mayoral, and School Committee election.
Yesterday was Election Day, and for North Adams, the main focus was on the mayoral and city council elections. While voter turnout was low for this year's elections, voters were at the polls, remained positive as they understood the importance of this year's election.
I think that local elections are always important. It doesn't change whether it's a big presidential or gubernatorial year. But we should always be voting locally because that's what we see the most impact from.
Well, I've always said, I've served 10 years on the city council, and I've always said that their local elections have a bigger impact on your daily life.
This is where decisions that affect people's life on a day-to-day basis matter. And what it does is it does remind people that elections happen every year, and turning out and getting involved and being engaged is always important.
Starting off with the mayoral election, incumbent Tom Bernard ran for re-election against Rachel Branch. This election was a bit of a rematch from the 2017 mayoral election, as both Branch and Bernard have faced each other in the primary that year. In the end, Bernard defeated Branch in an unofficial tally of 1740 to 387, and that does not include absentee ballot votes. Bernard talked about his long-term goals for the city over the course of the next 2 years.
The long-time goals are to build on what I've started in the first 2 years, so to strengthen and deepen around community engagement, around neighborhood redevelopment, around downtown development, particularly in the area of housing. And then the other thing is, sort of planning for the future. I think what we do in the next 2 years is really going to set the course for the next decade in the city. How we plan, how we look at our financial situation, how we look at our infrastructure, and the moves we make will really determine how well we succeed going forward.
Bernard was not the only one to be re-elected. In the city council race, incumbents Benjamin Lamb, Marie Harpin, Keith Bona, Paul Hopkins, Jason LaForest, and Wayne Wilkinson all won, while Lisa Blackmer and Robert Moulton Jr. will return to the council. Newcomer Jessica Sweeney earned the final spot on the council. Along with the city council election, Robert Moulton Jr. was also elected to the school committee, which is the first time that someone will serve on both positions concurrently. All positions will officially be sworn in on January 1st. And for Beacon Web News, I'm Julia Texera.
On November 8th and November 22nd, join the Student Activities Council, or SAC, in Shopping, Shopping, Shopping. Over the course of 2 days, students will travel to 2 different malls with vans leaving on both dates. For more information, visit the SAC Facebook page at facebook.com/SAC@MCLA. The Biology Department will be hosting a pre-medical advisory meeting with guest speaker Dr. Marcella Bradway, colorectal surgeon at Berkshire Medical Center. The meeting will be on Tuesday, November 12th at 12 p.m. in the CSI Atrium. The Career and Development Center will be hosting a resume, cover letter, and internship workshop. The event will be at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, November 12th in Bowman 216. The library will be hosting a talk with Emily Brewster, a senior editor and lexicographer at Merriam-Webster. Her talk, The Role of the Dictionary and Public Discourse, will be Tuesday, November 12th at 7 p.m. in the library. That's it for this week. To stay up to date with BWN, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/MCLA BWN. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.